morning. We are in Moab, Utah, on Highway 191 South. It's a beautiful morning this morning, so I figured I'd make a video and talk about some things. I wanted to make a video today on tips on becoming a truck driver, kind of a pros and cons list, if you will. I've seen a few drivers that do these kinds of videos and give you tips on what to expect when you start driving, and they are very informative. But I haven't seen one that gives you a video that kind of gives you an insight of what to expect after you've already gotten your CDL and after you've been on the road for a little while. So I'm kind of going to do a little list. I'll keep it short and sweet over different pros and cons on what to expect just to become a truck driver and then staying a truck driver. You know, this career isn't for everybody. I'll say that from the beginning. It takes a special breed to do this. Not that the job is hard by any means. It really isn't hard. It's a lot of common sense when it comes to being a truck driver, and I think that's something that lacks out here, definitely. But anyways, on to the list. The first one is, I guess you would say, would be a pro and a con, depending on how you want to look at it, depending on your personality type. And that's something you have to figure out, is your personality type. But the first one on the list is going to be, you're going to spend a lot of time alone. And I know that may seem like a no duh kind of statement, but that seems to bother a lot of people. They know it coming in, but I guess they don't grasp the reality of that. After you're done with your trainer and you finally have your own truck, you know, if you just gotten your CDL, or maybe you ran team for a little while or what have you, you're going to be spending quite a lot of time alone. And that's something you have to deal with. Now, for somebody like me, that doesn't bother me. I'm used to it. It's actually very calming for me. In the beginning, my first 6 months, yeah, that was rough. It took adjusting to get used to it, because after a while, these four walls begin to close in on you. But you know, now looking back on it, it wasn't so bad. I've done the team thing, the team driving thing. I've done the training thing. You know, I've trained dozens of people and, you know, teamed with a few different people, and it's just not for me. Not that I'm not a people person. I don't like being confined in such a small area with somebody. Now, I did team with my wife for a little while, and that was the easiest teaming I've had, because obviously, you know, I got along with her, to say the least. But you know, so I mean, solo driving for me is where it's at. And you might go into teaming and might do a team driver your whole run, whether you're a couple or a friend or family or what have you. But after a while, you will get tired of being really close to somebody that close, because you have no real separation. You know, there's a curtain between you and the person you're driving with. That's really it. So you really don't have any of that separation of being at home. Like, you can go to a different room and close the door and go outside or what have you. It's just not there. So that's why I say it can be a pro or it can be a con, depending on your personality type. It just varies person to person. One pro, in my mind, for truck driving is, you know, if you're looking for a new career, you don't ever have to worry about not having a career here. Or let me rephrase that. As long as you don't do anything detrimental, you know, like pull a truck or lose a load off a trailer or something of that nature, you'll always have a job. Might not be with the same carrier, but trucking as a whole will always be here. It will always have to be here. There's no way around that. Now, they are trying to do the autonomous 18-wheeler and take the person out of it, but I don't see that happening, anytime soon. At least in the next 10 to 15 years, I don't see them perfecting that. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. So that's not really something you should concern yourself with. Hold on 1 second. So that is a pro, at least to me, is as long as you do your job safely and you're not an idiot about it, you'll always have a job out here. And if this is a great career for a single person, man or woman. It is a great career simply because you don't really have any bills per se like you would with a normal job. For instance, you don't have to, if you come out here and you get rid of your apartment or your house or what have you, and you live in a truck because you are single, you don't really have any bills, especially if you're a company driver. There's no rent, there's no lights, water. The only real bills you'd have would be a cell phone bill, a food bill, odd and end stuff. So it is a good way to make money and save money, if you want to look at it that way. And even if you do have a family back home, wherever you're from, depending on the area, now this doesn't work in all areas, I live in Springfield, but depending on the area, with how much it costs as far as living goes, your rent, mortgage, what have you, you can live like a king by doing this job. Because if you live in a low-cost area like I do, Springfield, Missouri, the cost of living isn't very high. You're going to make more driving a truck than what people in that city or that area make. It's just the way it goes. For example, Springfield, the average take-home, or average gross rather, is between $30,000 to $40,000 a year. The average truck driver, even on the low end, makes $50,000 to $70,000 a year. So you're going to live better. Now, obviously, the more experience you have, the longer you've been doing this, the more money you're going to make, and eventually you'll get up to making, $90,000, $120,000, $130,000 a year. So you can live very comfortably. Now, I'm not saying that about places like New York City or Philadelphia or Los Angeles or something where living expenses are really high. That might be a different story, but take it for what it's worth. Again, depending on where you live, you can live very comfortably by doing this job. Another con would be you're going to eat at a lot of truck stops, and you'll get tired of seeing the same food and seeing the same truck stops, the Pilots, the Flying J's, the TA, the Petros. After a while, they all begin to look the same. There are some nice ones like the Iowa 80 TA, the big one. Everybody knows about that one. Or the Petro in Joplin on 44, that's another big one. Yeah, they are nice, and it's always fun to go in there, but after a while, it's still just another truck stop. So, that's something you got to adjust to. One tip, though, is make Walmart your best friend. It is very, very expensive, even as a single person, to eat at truck stops every single day. You'll notice how quickly that adds up, anywhere from $10 to $20 a meal, depending on what you're getting and where you are. That might not seem like a lot, but you figure at one meal a day, which most people eat more than once a day, you're looking at $70 to $100, $120 a week just off of eating one meal, because you're eating at truck stops. Versus if your truck is capable of having a refrigerator, a microwave, a crock pot, what have you, that same $100 could last you 2 or 3 weeks. So that's something to pay attention to. It is easier to eat at a truck stop, I will say that, but you are paying for that convenience. Another tip is, let's see how to put this. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes even after you're done with training. Hopefully you make your mistakes while you're in training, so that way you have somebody there to explain what happened and why it happened, and hopefully you have a good trainer if that's something you're going through now. But don't be afraid of making mistakes. I've been out here almost 10 years now, and I still make mistakes. I still learn how to do something different, more efficiently as far as the time manner goes, or a safer way of doing something I've done hundreds of thousands of times over. Hopefully the mistakes you make are small and they're not rolling a truck over because you took a curve too fast, or backing into somebody because you didn't want to get out and look or pay attention, or it's just late and you're tired. Hopefully it's nothing like that, and it's something simple like a paperwork issue, or your tarp, if you're a flatbed, is flapping around because you didn't bungee it right. Hopefully it's something simple like that. But just understand that in the beginning you will make a mistake of one sort or another. My first mistake happened within my first 30 days of driving. I was going up Dead Man's Pass in Oregon, and I had never driven an 18-wheeler before, and I missed a gear and ended up pretty much freaking out on the middle of the interstate, and stalled the truck out. Luckily, I was in training, so my trainer got up and was able to help me correct the issue. But it was something simple like that. We didn't cause an accident or delay or anything like that. It was the middle of the night. I drove nights for him. So nothing bad per se happened. It was a learning experience, and that's something you have to understand is you're gonna go through that of one sort or another. So just take it for what it's worth and take it as a learning experience. With that being said, I have found out that if you're out here for a long period of time and you feel like you're not learning something every day, regardless of what it might be, that can become very dangerous because you become complacent. And complacency out here as a truck driver is very bad. After a while you will start to see the same roads over and over again and the same loads over and over again. But once you become complacent, that's when you start to slack off and cut corners, and that's when bad things happen. And that's not good for a truck driver. This is a very rewarding career, and I see I'm getting kind of long, so I'm going to wrap it up. But you have to be willing to stick it out, and that'll be my last point, is a lot of people come into this because of the money that can be made, because there is a lot of money to be made out here, and that's what they see at first, and they don't pay attention to what the job details. It's not a very hard job. It takes a lot of common sense to do it, but the main point is stick out the career. Don't give up on it within 6 months. It could be to where it's just, like I said in the beginning, it's not for you. It's not for everybody. And that's something you have to figure out for yourself. But if you see it's just, it's too boring, or I'm away from home too much, give it some time and see if your thoughts and feeling on it changes. And if it doesn't by your year mark, okay, walk away. Not a problem. But don't give up on it just because it's not this illustrious career that you thought it was going to be. Just give it some time, and you might actually start to enjoy it. I enjoy driving, I always have, so that's why it's good for me. You don't, for the most part, I'm not going to say every company, you don't have somebody breathing down your neck and micromanaging you, so it gives you a lot of freedom in that aspect. You're responsible for waking up on time and making loads and pickups and delivery on time, and there's a lot of stuff we have to be responsible for ourselves. But a lot of people do good in that area. They don't need somebody micromanaging them to do good. So if that sounds like something you can deal with, then this could be a very rewarding career, and you can be one of the drivers that are out here for 30 or 40, 50 years, what have you. It's a unique career. Let's just end it like that. So this is just my opinion on things. Everybody has their own opinion on it and what to expect and their outlook on it. A lot of people will tell you about the good sides of driving, but they don't really touch on the bad sides, or not so much the bad sides, but the downsides, I guess you would say. Like, for instance, being alone or missing holidays or birthdays or, not being able to go out with your friends and everything every time you want to. You have to make sacrifices to do this, but try and look at the end game. And if you want to get to a certain point in your life financially or what have you, then trucking can provide that if you're willing to stick it out and pay your dues. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do. They want everything given to them up front. But if you stick this out and pay your dues and become a better, more efficient driver, whether it's flatbed, tanker, cattle hauler, reefer, it doesn't matter. In the end, we all do the same job. We all are professional freight relocators. That's the best title you can have for yourself. So it doesn't matter which division you go into. Roughly the same basics still apply to each division and each side of the career. But my main point in all of this is simple. Enjoy driving, enjoy the job itself, and give it time to work itself out, and really give an effort, 100% effort to see if, we got dead animals in the road, to see if driving is right for you or not. Don't just quit just because it's not what you thought it would be the first month, the first 2 months of driving. Give it a chance and actually see what it has to offer. That's it for now. Thank you.